Yes.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the April 9th, 2026 meeting of the Cleavenger Town Council. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and your participation is your consent to be rebroadcast on the town YouTube channel. Joe. Roll call, please.
Cleavenger.
Present.
Joe Day.
President.
Ginny Munroe.
Here.
Neer.
Present.
Sally Ricciardi.
Here. Will you all please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
What the heck? Yeah, I can't do this. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the March 26th meeting of the Cleavenger Town Council. Councilors, any additions or corrections to the minutes? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Mr. Neer moves.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Day. Roll call, please.
Cleavenger.
Aye.
Joe Day.
Aye.
Ginny Munroe.
Aye.
Neer.
Aye.
Sally Ricciardi.
Minutes approved. Next is public concern, utility ordinance violation appeals. Anyone in the room for anything pertaining to that? Hearing none. Public dialogue. This is the chance for anyone who wishes to address the council. Anyone online, Karen?
There are people online, but no one's on meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Oh, yes.
Has the council given any more thought to Adora designated outdoor refreshment area? We talked about it last August with Kevin, I believe you. Guys discussed it or have we considered it? We requested last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was resumed again during the retail strategies. That was one of the motivation of bringing it up. I talked to a few communities, but I have not talked to Kevin on a legal basis and researched it any further than that. To be honest with you, Susie, right now.
There's,
It's as simple as a one page. It's on the state's website. Rochester has one even. I mean, it's very commonplace. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Do you know what Adora is? Anybody?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
designated outdoor refreshment area. It's a simple application. One of the questions is how often do you have it year round? Do you have it just during summer?
You can do whatever.
That's exactly right, as well as enforcement. I've spoken with Chad about it a little bit, about how we would enforce that downtown. With the proximity to the park and lake house, it might be problematic with, you have cups that designate it, but I'm just working out some of the details, but I would be lying if I didn't say we put it down about November or October of last year and we haven't picked it back up, Susie. So that's a good reminder.
Do you have
No, I would just want to reach out to those other communities and see how their platforms are going and things of that nature. And Kevin and I did briefly talk about this with some of the containment and how do we try to put the word out there to people to stay within the door? I mean, how do we
It's as simple,
signages and
it's as simple as training the staff. So
Mhm.
for the council who does not know, or the attorney who does not know what it is, the state of Indiana has really done all the work and they've done a beautiful job. So when we do a festival or an event, it's quite an undertaking if you want to have anybody sell alcohol. They have to apply for a special permit. They have to purchase different liquor. We can't use the liquor that we already have. So if we have an event, we have to have another invoice showing the liquor was purchased just for that event. Then there's the fencing. You have to either fence off just a small area or our shops like to do the whole block so that people would walk into their shops while they're having a cocktail rather than sitting in a little fenced area. With this, with the Agora, it's a simple, actually, I thought I could do it and I filled out the paperwork online only to discover that the council has to submit it. It's a one-page document from the state. You designate the area. We would suggest from on Main Street, from Madison Street, just to Jefferson Street. We would love to say the next street up, which would be Washington Street. But since Dickey's lot, the lot at Jefferson Moon, we thought, let's just keep it smaller then. So it's just one block and one alley to alley. So all it is people can walk. They can purchase from the businesses, which that's another great thing, is it keeps the money in the community rather than bringing in an outside vendor for a festival or an event. You could also make it just on event weekends. You could make it just seasonal in the summertime. The choice is yours. And you can change it as you go, but you just have to show them in the application process the designated street. And I asked other places what do they have, and also on the state website, to make it very clear. At the end, so like let's say the trash can at Jefferson and Main, you would have a sign right on the trash can. Simple, that can be attached that says end of door. All alcoholic beverages must be discarded here. Really simple. Then you have to have designated businesses inside there who want to be what's designated the right word, designated businesses. I asked Nada last year if she would want to be one of the businesses, and she said no. Which means the Cafe Max would like to be. So the Cafe Max could actually sell the alcohol if somebody wanted to walk down the street and walk into a shop. We could use the cups that say Dora. We could remind our customers, by the way, remember, it's only on this one block. You have to throw it away. But that's what they suggest is a sign on the trash cans.
What's the advantage of it? We get around like open container law? Is that
Well,
the idea?
The benefit is the money stays in the local businesses, the brick and mortars, because you have to be a designated business to do it. Then you wouldn't have to do all the fencing.
I don't know if you've seen the festival, but it's huge.
Yeah.
And really awkward to get into places because of it.
Oh, there you go. So when we do a festival, anybody who has a liquor license, like when we do a fall festival, anybody with a liquor license, is like myself, the Cafe Max, and Lucretia's have to be fenced off. We cannot be part of the festival. We have to be fenced off because we have liquor license.
Separate from the festival.
So you have to get into our businesses. You have to walk around the festival and then walk down a separate path to get into us.
Then how do you know who sold what alcohol? Does it matter? Does it matter to like your dram shop coverage, that kind of thing?
I'm confused. Let me maybe clarify. We cannot sell liquor
Okay,
into the festival.
okay.
We can't, but we can't even, our doors can't open onto the festival. Even though we're not selling liquor
Once
outside.
you have this door,
Oh, with the door, I'm sorry, repeat the question then.
would you be able to sell the alcohol then if you have the door?
That's what the door is for.
Yeah, so then all I'm saying is there a designation of where they bought the alcohol, whether they bought it from your establishment or somebody else's, or is it all?
You can do, so the state also sells Dora cups. Or we could get our own cups printed at a lower cost because we looked into it and we can say Dora on it. And then you just have to dispose of it. You cannot walk it. So it's very obvious that you have a cup. If it says Dora, it's not soda pop.
And your insurance covers that.
Yes.
Your dram shop coverage covers that.
And
The town's not gonna be subject to liability.
it's been months since I looked at it online.
Yeah.
I looked back in August. So I'm not sure.
So my only concern is liability.
I guess is since we have to be designated in the Dora, our names have to go on it.
That was my understanding of the reading. And I talked to a friend in Rensselaer, Indiana. They have a seasonal one that they use in the summertime. And that's what they said, that's why you have to have it in the door. You actually have to have somebody who has the alcohol license selling, and
We have to be
Yeah.
listed on the door.
that's right.
That's why I asked, Nada, and she said no. But my guess is, if Liz is here as a shop, we would also like it to be when we do events like Holiday Hop. You can scroll, that's
Yeah.
not in the season.
Yeah, the only thing I could see that the town would want to have some sort of requirement that you provide proof of insurance, current insurance. for
My guess-
like a Ram shop type of coverage, that kind of thing.
Well, my guess is, it's because I said I haven't looked at it since last August. It's on there. And the state, they've got, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
it's on
yeah,
one
yeah.
page.
I did this first
They
time.
made it so simple.
No problem. Look into it.
There's Aim is doing a webinar in the next couple of weeks on doors. I've signed up for it, so.
They've become really popular, and I don't think
Yeah, just email me.
they're not quite as logistically complicated after talking with Chad and stuff and talking to other communities the application was simple. I was just worried about how the parameters work into the signage and the cups, the designation of it.
Yeah, that's all on the.
It absolutely is. Yep. But there's always what they say and then the practice of, I wanted to see how communities have lived through it, and it's been fairly good for them, positive. So, yep. Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you,
Are,
Susan.
are you thinking about doing it for the season and maybe festivals that are outside of season, like a fall fest and holiday hop, that sort of thing?
I would like to talk to the shop owners to see how it best serves them and then put that in front of the council for their consideration as well.
Oh, and if a business, if I remember correctly, if a business did not want, like, let's say a child's ice cream shop or kids candy store didn't want that in, it's just a little sticker you could put, door not approved or door not accepted.
At the door.
Yeah.
They have been on a lake. Be a great place to just.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, that's very comparable too.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Can you
Definitely.
designate more than one area? Like if
Yes,
they wanted it in uptown at, certain, one of the blocks there and downtown blocks,
they
you
don't
can
have
have
to
more
be,
than one area.
yeah, they don't have to be contiguous, but you have to have an alcohol permit or license
So,
in that door.
so Lake.
Oh,
House-
okay.
Lake House and coffee company, so she sells wine and he sells everything else, would be great because they wouldn't have to get a special permit and set up when they do something down there. They did say, oh, the other thing that was so great about the state dialed it in is they even have it, and Kevin and I talked about this last year, and I know Bill and I did too. They thought of everything. You cannot sell more than 2 ounce pour in a glass. You could not have a martini walk out the door. You can't have one person buy a round of 3 or 4 shots. One person can only carry out 2 drinks. It's meant to be social, not to be sloppy drunk. So that's on the state's website. You can own, I think it's been so long, it was maybe a 15 ounce glass for beer. But one person can only take out 2 drinks and they cannot be doubles. It was so well written. It was so well written. There's no negotiating on it, is what it is.
I'm curious how long it takes once you apply, like if you try to get it done for this season, any ideas on that? Susie, have you heard anything about it?
But Jenny, I filled out the paperwork last year thinking I could do it for our September event. And there's nothing to be approved as far as I understand. It's just you submitting, this is our Dora. The town
Okay.
has, it's all on the town council to just do a little drawing of where you want it and you're done with the paperwork.
Okay. It does seem like that would make events a lot easier, even with our special permit, not having to go get a permit every single event.
And also, it doesn't mean that someplace like a large festival couldn't still do a beer garden, you know, but this makes
Sure.
it easy. So small, let's face it. When we do things down at the Main Street side, we're so little, we're on one block. Maybe we might reach out to 2 blocks, but we're pretty small.
Yeah. Okay.
Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission states that a DORA oftentimes can range from anywhere from 2 to 3 months to up to a year with complications. I don't know what complications mean, but so it sounds like 2 to 3 months would be the minimum.
How old is this idea?
It's been around I know of it for about 2 years. It really got popular around Jasper, or down in southern Indiana along the Ohio River. Jasper did it, and some different communities down there, and it matches really a visitor kind of tourism type environment. So there is a lot of overlap and good fit to it.
My job is to worry about liability.
Yep.
So I'll be the negative. I'm not against it. That sounds great, but the courts haven't had a chance to look at that. So when somebody rolls into your door and buys a drink, they have protections to make sure that you don't serve too many drinks to one person, but who knows what state they're in. And if they're not in the establishment, then nobody has a way to judge whether to serve that patron. And then that person gets in a vehicle and goes down the road and hurts somebody. That's a dram shop case. And
That sounds like you're likening it to when somebody at the lake house walks up to the bartender and asks for 2 drinks. They're not seeing the other person. It's really any different.
but what I'm concerned about is just the town's exposure, that's all. So I just want to make sure there's coverage for that. And when you have a law that's so new, the courts haven't taken a look at it. I'm sure the state's done an outstanding job, as you've said, but what they don't necessarily think about and what they have no control over is how the court's going to interpret that liability. So, and nobody's had a chance, unless there's a case out there where that's happened, the Supreme Court's issued a ruling that says the town has no liability.
So it's something you'll look into.
Sure.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you very much, Susie. Anybody else have any comment about the DORA? Any other old business? New business? Anybody here for any new business? You want online for new business? Department reports. They just got a call.
Maybe
He got towed, but he left some instructions with me if he did
Okay,
get towed,
all right.
if you would. And of many roles. Today I received Mike's official letter of resignation. He has, after some long, hard thought and a 30-year career, he's decided that he's going to step down and step away from the MS. He's looking forward to possibly a parks job or somewhere a little bit more docile, a little happier setting, I think, for him right now. He's going to cover all his shifts are covered through April. He wanted to make sure everybody understood that May's looking really good. I've been working with him. His last shift on ambulance will be on April 21st. It's tough because Mike's done a great job. He's really come in. I think everybody's seen the difference. And what he's done is he's left, in my opinion, left the department in a very healthy position in terms of leadership and structure. He's got a well cohesive, organized team back there, and he's brought a lot of structure that was much appreciated. He's committed to providing a smooth transition. He wanted to emphasize that going through. And even after he leaves, he's going to be available for contact and questions. It was his wishes and recommendation that I present to the council that he would like to appoint Lisa Richards as an interim director upon his departure until the town can satisfy a full-time director position, or at least name a full-time director position. So I'd ask your approval to honor Mike's wishes and assign Lisa Richards as our interim director upon Mike's departure on the 22nd.
Councilors, any questions before we take the motion?
it's not me.
I have one question, only because from an HR perspective.
Yes, sir.
Karen, if that happens to you, then how does the pay? Did they go into their role with their pay?
It'd be a per council,
Yeah, okay.
they
I just,
decide.
whether that be addressed, because I've had
Yeah.
situations, wage and hour issues where they've been serving in that role and not being paid. So, okay, just needed to address that.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the, I don't say appointment, but, I guess it would be an appointment of Lisa Richards on a temporary basis to succeed Mike for a motion.
Make that motion, Bill.
Daniel makes the motion. Is there a second?
I would make that a second motion, Bill, but I would amend it to adjust the pay rate to fit within the salary range of the director position.
All right,
So you want the salary to be the director's position salary?
Yeah, to me, it should be within the realm of the salary ordinance anyway.
Give me a second to pull the salary ordinance so we know what we're talking about.
See why Mike got his toes. He got out, didn't he?
So sometimes it's how you phrased it in the salary ordinance. It's paid per
Well, that's
person,
why, yeah.
or is it paid per position?
Yeah,
So
the-
it's-
And then there's the debate whether, if they're filling that position, do they, and then I don't know whether you have years of service. No, okay. Then if there's only one factor, then it's pretty simple.
My question is she taking over currently or on the 23rd?
My understanding would be, according to Mike's letter, he's going to serve effective up until April 22nd. Yeah. My last shift, he says on the ambulance would be April 21st. So my understanding would be the 22nd salary would be the first day.
Because our next,
I think you're right. Yeah.
so tonight. Figure that part out before she assumed the.
Would you prefer that? And I'll ask for, if we could keep that motion, and I'll make another motion here in a second. If you'll entertain the first motion.
Chair's a little confused on the motion.
I think they want to table it.
Would you like to know what the salary range is? Does it have it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's $28 to $32 per hour. It's the current range for the director.
The current range for a full-time
For a full-time
paramedic.
EMT paramedic, it's 22 to 27. And Mike is currently,
During the interim time, we raised it to the lower amount, and then she was then stepped into to full-time. After we advertised, whatever. We could raise it at that point again.
Mr. Neer, you want to run through all your first?
I would modify my motion by saying, my advice would be, since this is only a few weeks away, it's not to wait for our next meeting.
Yeah.
Since we haven't had the direction, so I would modify it by accepting the interim position at $28 fair?
Yeah.
Per hour.
I think so.
I would second that motion, Dana.
Mr. Neer moves, the $28. And Ms. Monroe seconds. Any discussion? If not, all those in, roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger,
Aye.
Mr. Day,
Aye.
Mrs. Munroe,
Aye.
Mr. Neer.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Oh,
Thank you.
communicate and appreciate it. Thank you. That was it from Mike. But things, I did have an opportunity, in terms of the EMS, I've been able to reach out to several of the members. Several of the members have reached out to me. There is some valuable feedback, some concerns, some flaws to Mike and some different things. So I'm consolidating information. The transition, I think, I'm hoping that it won't be a long process. We'll have to do our due diligence and advertise, obviously. And I'm going to consult with Mike, and then I think I'll wait till the next meeting and ask permission after Mike leaves to post that job, and I'll have a job description and everything ready for you. at that point. Okay? Okay, thank you. That's it for the emergency services.
During fire,
Bobby Kai sent everybody the monthly report for April. The only other thing we have is a request for $3,080 from our maintenance line for annual hose testing and fire cap.
I have a motion to approve the, what's the name of the company?
Fire cap.
Fire cans that test the fire hose.
Motion to approve expenditure.
Mr. Ricciardi moves to approve the expenditure. For a second. Second by Mr. Day. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Mr. Neer. Mr. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Anything else?
That's all we got.
Becker.
Council, I did distribute our March reports in your mailboxes. Hopefully you all received those. I've been monitoring, Lakeshore Drive since we did the construction up there and widened that. I've been paying some particular attention to Lakeshore Drive between State Road 10 and Academy Road. I've been noticing that there's some increased speed. Typically it is southbound, somewhat understandable for people coming off the highway. So I put the speed awareness trailer up there to bring some awareness. And there was currently 2 speed limit signs for southbound traffic. I talked to Bob and the street department, added another one up there. So right now with the speed monitor trailer, there's about a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit sign for southbound traffic about every utility pole. I'm just trying to bring as much attention we can to people for that stretch with the newer pavement, the wider area. I know we discussed that in construction, but we did put another sign up there. The other thing I have is that myself and Karen was notified by one of the patrol officers requesting some extended medical leave. So one of our officers is going to have some medical procedures. Been working with Karen as the HR standard, and that first day of that leave will be on April 21st. So I am, and he's going to be using his PTO time to include vacation, holidays, ones we haven't used, sick time, etc. And doesn't have an exact time frame of his return. With medical procedures, it'll have to be medical release by doctors and such of that nature. So we'll work through the PTO time and reevaluate. Hopefully that he heals and we can get him back sooner than later. But I did want to bring that to your attention. So I'm getting the schedule covered with part-time staff right now. If you remember, I told you about a new part-time officer that I had hired. So we have some availability there. One of the other part-time officers that I had hired last year, he now has some better availability. So to the part-time guys, we're getting that worked, and I'm working on a solution to get us back to full staff in the meantime. And then the last thing I have for you is the week of the 20th, I will be at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy down at Plainfield, attending the police chief executive training program. So I applied to get into that and was accepted. And so I'll be down there for the week for the training program and looking to bring back some good stuff. And that is all I have for you, unless you have further information.
How's that training paid for, Chief?
So I think the cost, I just got the reporting instructions for that training. It costs $275 for the training.
Okay.
But it's a whole week. So I'm sure that they have changed a lot of the program stuff over the last 25 years, but I've seen the desk manual from my predecessor that's still in the office, and at that time it was about this thick of material that they cover. So they've said bring a laptop, so maybe we'll be doing all that on digital as opposed to paper version. But I think it's a lot of material in 5 days.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Chad?
I don't have anything.
Crystal?
We had to cancel the Easter egg hunt this year after, thinking the day children came and spent one of their days of spring break helping us stuff all the eggs. But with weather, we couldn't, go ahead and do that. But I think that kids came in, still had pictures of the Easter bunny and left with a basket or a bag full of eggs to take some off our hands. So I think everybody that came through was happy regardless. I had, the contractor came in today to look at the window that has been leaking into the conference room. He says that it didn't take a lot to figure out what the problem was, with having somebody pour water down the window and somebody down at the bottom, seeing where it was going. So he's getting his report together to give me a estimate on what that will entail to fix that, as well as the windows if we chose to do that. But I feel like if we're gonna fix it, we might as well fix it right. If that entails getting a couple new windows, I think that we might should do that as well. I've talked to Kevin about some other building issues. So we have a few things that we're trying to get worked out before they get worse. Trying to get the park cleaned up after all of the rain that came through. It's a lot of work to do. We have on the 19th, the park cleanup day. Last year we ran it as a youth, the youth service day. And we had exactly one kid show up. If we did it on a Saturday, we had one academy girl show up and she literally just told us that she was lonely and didn't have anything else to do. So we're doing it on a Sunday this year. And we're hoping that with the academy kids and their sports, maybe we can have some more people show up, as well as the community kids do soccer on Saturdays. So that was a big conflict. So hopefully we have more people show up. If nobody's doing anything on the 19th and they want to come help clean up the park, we'd love to have you. Or tell your friends to come help us.
What time is that?
It'll start at 10 a.m. I didn't put a stop time. I just feel like the more hands we have, the faster it'll go. The day of Spirit at the Academy is coming up, I think, on next Thursday, 16th, I guess that would be, correct? And they were going to bring a group of kids, but there's some conflicts and things like that. So they might switch their kids to come and help with that instead of coming on that Thursday. So hopefully we have a good turnout this year. We can get some things cleaned up. And then the only other thing I have is that Leadership Marshall County Class 32 has opened up their applications. The class starts in September. It's a 9-month course. And I've talked to some people throughout town that have taken it. It sounds like a really good opportunity. And I was going to ask the council if you would be willing to sponsor me to be a part of that class. It's $800. And the applications are supposed to be submitted in the next soon. They have 30 spots and it's kind of a first come, first served basis.
How much was it, Crystal?
$800.
800, okay.
Well, that's a great class. I used to sit on the one Marshall County leadership or that board, and have been to numerous classes, and it's really great for leadership training, and it would also give Crystal some opportunity to network with other leaders throughout the county. So I'm fully support it and would make the motion to approve of the expense for it.
Thank you.
Ms. Munroe moves to approve for Crystal to put in an application, cost of $800. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Neer. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Neer.
Aye.
Mr. Charney.
Thank you.
Anything else, Crystal?
No, that's all.
Bob?
I don't have any questions. Any questions or concerns from me to answer?
Yes, sir.
Chair, no, I'm not on the agenda, but since Bob is here and Kevin is there, talk trees a little bit. We're supposed to get You're supposed to get 100 trees. You, the 14th, that's been changed. Now, if I don't know how many we got. But they are going to deliver trees on the 14th, I think.
Yeah, and the count from that meeting, I didn't hear anything other than the spots that we have. I didn't count how many flags we have, but
Well, but she sent another memo saying that it's fully work.
yeah.
So I don't know how many we're going to get, but we're going to need water. When those trees are delivered, we're going to be responsible for getting those trees wet and less maintenance. They're going to sit until they're planted.
Well,
So it's need to coordinate and make sure Bob knows about this because we're going to need water.
well, yes, John, Bob, actually, thank you. And Bob and I we're working, and I've talked to Karen Schumann, coordinating that as well for the delivery. All right. Thank you, though.
Next, town manager's report.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you doing? I we had a couple work sessions and executive sessions for the wastewater plant. Part of the process, I do want to officially get ready for the scoring, moving into next week. So 2 items of business. Number one, to include, get a motion to include Bob Porter on the scoring team moving forward. And if I get that motion, as well as a date for that scoring to take place, and then that should probably take care of the logistics, and I'll make sure we get the room and everything you guys need set up for that. So if I can get that motion.
You have a date?
I'm asking council for a recommendation for that date.
I'll make a motion to put Bob on the committee for scoring.
Thank you, Sean.
I'll second that.
Mr. Ricciardi moves to place Bob on the scoring committee, and then second by Mr. Day. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger,
Aye.
Mr. Day,
Aye.
Mrs. Munroe,
I support it, but I abstain.
Mr. Neer.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Thank you, council. And then in terms of the date, do you have a preference that works for the scoring committee? And I think, Bob, we're probably pretty flexible on that side of the house. I was trying to work around council. I know, Joe, oftentimes mornings are better for you.
Mornings are better. We're looking at.
I would say next week if we could.
Because I know Monday and Tuesday I have appointments.
That's okay.
Wednesday work?
Wednesday would work. If we could shoot for that 11 o'clock time.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday would work. Okay, 11. Very good. I'll make it 11 a.m. on Wednesday next week.
Unless somebody needs extra time to get their taxes done.
If you haven't done it by then, you're
You're out of luck.
You're in trouble.
All right, very good. Thank you on that point of order. Going to be working with Mike before he leaves to kind of get ready to do the postings for the end. I'll keep council advised on what some of the things. We're going to rework the job description a little bit after he's had some time with it, and may end up the same. Don't know, but I want his feedback, and I'll update council on the next meeting. I'd like to next week during the CRC meeting, we've been working with Marshall County Community Foundation, and I'm happy to say that it looks very positive for a $100,000 grant coming in for our Maxim County Arts Corridor Performing Arts Project. I provided council, and thank you, Karen, for preparing this, because the organization should tell you everything. It was her, not me, but it was based upon some of my feedback and the explanation. She translated onto a flow chart. The Lilly Arts and Cultural Grant Program, Lilly's put a fantastic, along with Ready 2.0, they've donated $250 million towards the improvement of the arts and cultures across the state of Indiana. It's a very competitive grant regionally, but I think we've positioned ourselves well within the application. We've looking at some of the KPIs that Ready looks at, we mark a lot of the boxes, and the regional arts program as well. I think this is somewhat complicated, but it really isn't. Simultaneously, underneath this grant, there are two projects in essence that are cooperating and forming a relationship with each other. That relationship is still being formed. The first one is the town park and the Lakeshore Streetscape project. Talking with Bob and Crystal, you can see underneath that project, there's an estimate for electrical improvements in the park. The Lakeshore Streetscape, as we heard, we have a lot of summertime traffic. Parking is becoming an increasing issue there. And Bob, we know we've got utilities to replace there. The green space also within the park, a realignment of that, not to take away, by the way, to increase, make sure that gets out there. Preservation of the pavilions, the World Fair lights. The pavilions are incredible. I remember touring our landmarks, and he fell in love with that. Our guest did, as well as a project that we're talking with Braun about, the ADA compliancy upgrades and some opportunities there. That's one stream of a project stream, if you will. That's plan and design. Simultaneously, you've been aware, we've been talking with the theater. That's a second coupled project stream with this for plan and design. It's they're doing the current survey for feedback on the use, the plan and design. It would also include the tear down of it. The theater's next steps would probably, as we move into a construction phase, I think their time frame is going to be different than ours. I think at that point, they're going to begin their own separate with our support, but their construction would move off and become its own project at that point. We're probably looking at a 2 to 3 year time frame before we would be considering a construction project, but this would provide us a shovel-ready plan. Both with CCMG as well as Lilly and Ready, I think they drop a bomb on you all at once. They tell you, and then you have about 2 months to prepare and get something together. If we have a shovel-ready plan to go, I think we become much more competitive. And I think we also have time to make considerations and plans and not rush into the process. I think that's probably the most appetizing part of this, to pursue a plan and design grant here. The funding is both public and private. The way the funding works is a 1-to-1 match public, a 3-to-1. Now that doesn't have to happen for each project. You can 100%, the Lilly and Ready can say, look at our project and say, you know what, we're all in. That 3-to-1 match and 1-to-1 has to be on a regional level. The South Bend Elkhart region, when they go to state, they have to demonstrate those matching. We want to try to move towards that number the most that we can, so we're competitive. It makes us more competitive in the pool, and we're pulling our own weight. So the capital stacks have been aligned in such a way, such, for example, the possible land donation that we would make upon completion or into the construction phase would count for that plan and design. The tear down cost would also count towards that. The $100,000 from the community foundation will count towards that. I would like to be able to approach the CRC for our part of the plan and design, especially with the emphasis on the park design, to approach for $100,000 ask next week. I wanted to go through the council to ask permission to go before the CRC to make that request prior to. So if there's any more information, because I have worked out the budget, I do have the application fleshed out pretty well at this point. Karen was kind enough to put together a much more concise, bulleted, pointed flow sheet, but I'd be happy to talk to the council on any matter of that. But I was asking permission if I might approach the CRC. And again, it would be contingent upon winning the Ready grant. If we don't win the Ready grant, then that money would not be necessary.
What's the value of that piece of ground?
It's a good question right now, Dana. For the purpose of the grant, initially we were thinking $300,000. We moved that number back down to $200,000 to be conservative on that. If we move into the formal part of that with the application with Ready, and we do move into that, we would have an appraisal done before ceding that property over for the development for the theater. That would have to be done.
Great idea. First, I think it's a wonderful idea. I don't see any initial concerns, just to move forward with the idea, the concept. Anybody else?
I guess I don't have problems as long as it's contingent on the award of the Ready grant.
It would have to be. I think too, keep,
Definitely the Atherton living.
and talking with Bill too, privately, if I might, Mr. President, I share some of the concerns, but understanding that the two entities are still on their own plan and design tracks. We're cooperating towards the grant money. So what we're bringing to the table, the CRC money would be to pick up our share of the project in essence. It would be supporting more. I mean, if you want to think of it that way, even though it's a giant pool, but I've gotten estimates on some rough estimates and quotes on how much that would cost on plan and design. And that's sort of what that asks for the CRCs based on. So I think you have to be careful keeping separate streams, but at the same time, there's a cooperative relationship going on for the grant because it makes our competition, it makes us more appealing in the competitive pool.
And the work is basically in the same 2-block area.
It truly is, and it's in the town's interest, I think, to have something done there with the theater and development.
So you're looking right now for approval to submit an application.
As well as approach CRC next week for approval for $100,000 contingent upon the fact that we do get awarded the Ready project. Or grant, excuse me.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the application. And that we approach what was the amount? 100,000?
100,000 from CRC.
From CRC.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Neer moves to approve, go for the application and the $100,000. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Monroe seconds. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Aye.
Mrs. Munroe.
Aye.
Mr. Neer.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Thank you, Council. And I will keep in, I look forward to talking to you more about the project as well, sharing information. Thank you. We do have a special permit request from Surf Bros. The date would be May 23rd, 2026. It's listed as a block party on Main Street, summer kickoff. Have different style of bands playing throughout the day from noon to 11 p.m. The number of people anticipated is rather large, 300 to 500 people. The Lake Max Marina and the Surf Bro Surf Shop on 107 South Main Street is the contact for that. There would be a food truck, band, block party for Culver people. The event parking plan, public parking throughout the town, can do transport parking if needed. Be or make a deal with the Cove to use parking lot. I have not been able to update any more information about that parking or how people would be transported. Describe any street, the street block between Main Street between Jefferson and Madison would be closed down. I have spoken preliminary with Bob about that. Will any businesses be impacted for the road closures? No, this will help all businesses to get more customers. However, affected businesses contacted. I'm going to businesses with this and asking their opinion and if they want to help out. I've not heard back any more information on that. Describe signage plan and request, obviously for the barricades and the stopping. Will alcohol be served? The answer is no. I will not be doing alcohol now. Cafe Max is more than welcome to jump on board, but obviously, Susie, you've mentioned that tonight. That's not something that's viable for you, is that unless you get a permit? Exactly, and I'm saying this tentatively. I'm reading what he's saying, and that's okay.
And the date, is that filled out?
No, it's not, and that's why when I read affected businesses contacted, the answer is I'm going to business. I haven't heard back from him, and I don't have a list that's been included with it. So I don't have that information. I'm bringing this to the council's attention because to table this for now. It's not, the party's not until May 23rd or the suggested date. But I wanted to bring this before council because I don't have enough information to pursue this, and appreciate you being here tonight to second that. I have not put it before the department heads until I get that information because I think there's still some additional information I would like to see. I'm asking the council, is there any additional information for such a party? I think given the size of this, I would like, it's not a 50 or 100 person gathering. I think it's going to have more impact on the town than just that immediate block. So I wanted to bring it and see if there's any concerns I'm missing that you might be able to fill in, or Kevin, from your standpoint.
You're gonna shut down Main Street?
That's, yes, that is what they're saying from,
Like they do for a festival.
On
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend?
it would be May 23rd.
It's like the busiest weekend you're gonna post.
Thank you, Jerry.
I would not be in favor of that as a business. Liz, do you have an opinion?
I think the Memorial Day feels kind of tough to want to close that down when you've got people coming in to their lake homes maybe for the first time. We tend to see, I've not been here a lot, but
Sure.
as you can perhaps back me up, people tend to come in, work on their homes.
That's opening weekend.
Yes.
Memorial Day is when everybody tries to come back. It's a very family oriented time. A lot of kids in the community.
Thank you. And I think our, Bill, I thank you for also some guidance on this. I think I'll try to get some more information, express some of the concerns, and I will formally get your feedback on it or not on it.
I will say mentioned wanting to do a big party. And I believe he mentioned that weekend. And I gave him my opinion like that at the wrong time and I would not be in favor of it.
And we're in favor of parties on Main Street.
If with your permission, I might provide that feedback to him and see if we can be more flexible on that date. And that, Jerry, I appreciate you bringing it back to the board as well.
If you do offer him other dates, we plan on having something kind of similar at the park on June 13th. There'll be just 2 bands and the night with a movie.
That's helpful.
Food
Yeah.
truck.
I don't want to create a competitive situation. Okay. Thank you.
I'd just like to add, I spoke with Barb Johnson just before the meeting. And she's vehemently opposed.
The time frame.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody. Appreciate the guidance on that. Sorry. We've already appreciate the wastewater. I thought that the second round of interviews went very well. I appreciated every company that came in. I think that we presented 3 strong companies. I look forward to seeing what the scoring committee arrives at and ultimately our final decision. So I appreciate the time everybody spent on it and the guidance in the process as well. Thank you, everybody. Last thing for me tonight is downtown strategies. I felt like we had a strong strategic visioning workshop. I think it's interesting. Ginny Munroe, thank you, Jenny, made the comment she feels like a lot of the meeting went on after the meeting, and that was very valuable. It was great to see new faces, some new communications, some very experienced faces. This is not an easy process to go through, and there's been frustrations and there's been attempts and things that have gone on. But I felt very optimistic about it. I feel like there is feedback coming in. And I'm looking very forward to Retail Strategies action plan coming in. I like their approach with the action steps, the smaller steps. And he was very, I'm using very a lot, I apologize. He was complimentary of what the town has already done. Some of the improvements that have been suggested by our retail shop owners, some of the things that Bob and Jenny brought about with Stellar. There's a strong basis here for development. As a matter of fact, I was contacted by 2 companies today. Of all things, I was contacted by a knife sharpening company. The gentleman lives here. I'm looking for a brick and mortar store for that. I don't know what that would look like, but I'm still intrigued. Ice shaving, and then I was also contacted about Boatsman's property for possible development there. So there's starting to become some interest, but we'll temper that. It has to be action and not words. So, but I really did appreciate that strategic vision. We had over 30 people attend. Felt that was good, and I'll keep following up and providing updates there. So thank you.
Anything else, sir?
I think that's plenty.
Ms. Hine.
I just have a couple of invoices over $2,500 for your approval. First one is Fritz Fire Equipment for $2,604.50, and that is for the annual fire extinguisher inspections throughout the. And then the second one is from Awning and Sign Contractors. And that's for the awnings that were put up yesterday, thank you. The cost ended up coming in a little bit higher. They made some suggestions as far as width of the awning, to adequately cover the front doors. And so we went ahead and kept that process going. So that ended up coming in at $5,920.60. So I'd ask for a motion to approve the claims over 2,500.
The motion to approve those claims.
Mr. Ricciardi moves to approve claims over $2,500. Second by Mr. Neer. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Aye.
Mrs. Munroe.
Aye.
Mr. Neer.
Aye.
Mr. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Second, I have to apologize. Yesterday or Tuesday came and went, and 5:00, 5:45 passed, and realized that I did not do notice for the board finance meeting. If you want, we can do that before the next council meeting at the end of April, or I can just provide you the information and you can review it and come and ask me questions as you have them. I will leave that up to your what your preference is.
I'm fine with just providing the information. Anybody that has a question can ask.
That too.
All right. Just let me remind you, my door is always open. You're more than welcome to come in and ask me questions. Please don't let questions go unanswered. At the end of all of my emails, I say, any questions, please ask. So I encourage you to do so I can explain, and you don't come to meetings with having to make uninformed decisions. So upcoming dates, I just want to remind everyone that the townwide garage sales are April 24 and 25. If you want to get on the list, your information to me by Tuesday before. That'll be April 21st, I believe. May 11th is townwide cleanup, and hydrant flushing was supposed to be this week. Due to a number of things, it did not take place. We will let people know when we've had a chance to reschedule and do that again. That's all. We want things stable. So, but we'll try to provide ample heads up and avoid, obviously, weekends that are important to our restaurants. And that's all I have to do.
I do have one announcement, Mr. President.
Yeah.
And Karen reminded me, on Monday morning between 9:30 and 1:30, South Main Street will be closed between Mills and Hawkins. It's for tree removal. For safety reasons, we're going to close that road, coordinated with Bob, and we'll get that taken care of. They think they'll get it done before that time frame, but I thought that was the best part of the day, get the school traffic out of there. Just want to provide that update.
Time for council issues. Mr. Neer.
I just want to compliment our department heads and our team and all your teams. You guys are intentional, you're intelligent, you're present, care. I mean, it's very obvious. I really appreciate all of you and what you do for our town. So thank you.
Mr. Ricciardi.
I don't have anything I could echo what he said as well, but I don't have anything specific.
Ms. Monroe.
I ditto that, Dana. I also wanted to say I enjoyed the input meeting for the retail project, especially enjoyed meeting afterwards too with Liz Lamoureux and Amber and others that kind of popped by the table. Learned a lot. It did sort of inspire some more creative thinking and renew my energy a little, which is always nice when you've been around too long. And came out of the takeaway being, how do we not create obstacles for our business owners who are really invested in trying to make a go of even our down season in Culver, which is a really tough season. So looking forward to what ideas come out of that and how we can support our businesses and continue collaborating beyond the project itself.
Thank you. Mr. Day.
I do not have any.
I would like to echo what Mr. Neer said and add additionally, I think Mike has done an outstanding job at EMS. I think during my time in the community. I think he's probably been the best EMS director we've had. And I personally gonna miss him, and I think the community is gonna miss him. So I wish him well.
So true, Bill.
Thank you.
I agree.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Attorney makes a motion to adjourn so she can do her taxes.
I already got the big plans.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. State, roll call, please.
Mr. Cleavenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Neer.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Thanks for the link, Karen. Everything
Welcome.
worked well on the audio, so appreciate it.
Good night, Jenny. Get
Bye,
rest.
guys.